Goes I go. Thank you. And if you happen to have Hungarian as your native language, form a line. She'll be happy to talk to you. It's absolutely wonderful to see you here. Behind you, you see the Liberal Express bus. We are going 10 provinces, 3 territories. We're going right across the country with a simple message that Canada needs, Canada wants, Canada deserves a compassionate, responsible, hopeful, uniting alternative to Stephen Harper. And you're looking at the team. You're looking at the team that's going to give it to you. Many of you are liberals, but some of you have just come to take a look. Well, take a look. There are a lot of liberals here. Take a look at this team. Take a look at its experience. Take a look at the optimism and hope. Take a look at the diversity in the room. Take a look at all the people, all the cultures, all the religions, all the faiths here in one place. Because they believe that this country deserves better than what we've got. We've got a government, and I never thought I'd be standing on a public platform in Canada having to defend the census. Can you believe it? Can you believe we have a government that prefers ignorance to knowledge, that prefers ideology to reason, that prefers blind guesses to facts? This is not a minor issue. This issue cuts to the heart of what these people are about. They don't respect you. They don't want to find out about you. They don't want to find out about us. How are you supposed to help Canadians if you haven't got any way of finding out who's unemployed? Who's a single mother struggling to make ends meet? Who speaks un de nos langues officielles? Est-ce qu'on peut aider les francophones hors de Québec si on ne sait pas où ils sont? Everybody gets this except the Conservative government. And they've done something else. They've forced a distinguished public servant into resignation because they won't let him do his job. They don't respect us, and they don't respect the public servants who serve us. This is not good enough. This is not good enough for Canada. They've got to walk back down the hill and see reason. I don't know whether it's possible, but they have to see reason on this issue. This is a government that took your money and spent $1.3 billion on a 72-hour photo op that shut down the entire city of Toronto. This is not the way to rebuild Canada's prestige on the world stage. We know how to do it. Look around. We have to work the networks that already exist in Canada. In this crowd, there will be people who speak nearly every language in the world, who have contacts with every region of the world. We're the most international country in the world. I'm supposed to be ashamed because I spent time out of the country. I've got nothing to be ashamed of. I'm proud of the fact that I went out and came back. And so are you. So are you. You're proud of your brothers and sisters, your uncles and aunts who are working overseas and want to come back to Canada to make it a better place. You're proud of your connections to other countries. These are the bridges. These are the bridges on which we build a Canada turned out into the world, a Canada capable of leading on the world. You don't do it with fake lakes. You don't do it with photo ops. You do it with the people of Canada and faith and love and affection for the people of Canada. And we are, whatever else we are, whatever else we've been, we've always had one abiding principle which has animated the Liberal Party of Canada since I joined it at the age of 17. Many of the people on this platform joined at that age. It's equality. The idea that we can't have freedom, we can't have opportunity unless we have equality. Unless everybody in this beautiful crowd tonight feels they're as good as everybody else and no one's better. That core commitment to equality we put into place in the Charter of Rights and Freedoms. That means everybody stands on the same piece of granite, the same equal ground, and we have to fight and defend it. Because we've got a government that doesn't share these views. They've walked away from affirmative action in hiring in the public service. Now that sounds like a complicated issue, but that means they've walked back on equality. They don't want a public service in this country that looks like this, that looks like Canada. If they get away with this, they start getting away with more. They walk us back from that basic equality which holds us together as a people. They play one Canadian against another. They start saying, it's not good to be smart, it's not good to be intelligent. Let's rouse and create resentment towards people with education. Let's create resentment towards people who've been out of the country. Let's start creating resentment between communities. See whether that works for us. This is how they govern. Divide and rule, split, divide, seek controversy, play to your base. And they want all of you to stay home. They don't want any of you to vote. And I'm saying, we got to play a different game. My mother, when she was small, and she's of Scottish origin, used to sing that song we all know, I'll take the high road, you take the low road. We got to take the high road. We've got to stay on the high road. The high road of principle, the high road of equality. Equality creates freedom. Without equality, you don't have freedom. They don't get that. They talk the freedom line, but they don't talk the equality line. We have to be the equality party. We have to create opportunity for every Canadian, for the Aboriginal Canadians who don't complete high school, for the immigrant Canadians who can't get language training, from the people who are disabled or shut out from the opportunity to have jobs, and I was talking to them today. For Muslim Canadians who feel since 9/11 there's suspicion around them. There's no suspicion. They are our fellow citizens, our flesh and blood, and we stand with them. We stand with every community to give everybody an equal chance. We've always stood with the people in the great state of Israel. We've always understood democracy recognizes democracy. Freedom recognizes freedom. We appeal, we have always stood for two states, two peoples, justice and freedom in the Middle East. An end to this conflict which divides Canada, must never divide Canadians, must unite us, never divide us. And we must stand for that and speak for that and never be afraid to stand up for it. It all comes down to unity. It all comes down to a vision of unity based on equality, based on hope, based on seeking to find the things that unite us, always seeking to unite. I came into politics to unite, to appeal to the best in people, to appeal to hope in people, to appeal in faith to people. And I've turned to people who have a track record here. People in this behind me have a track record. Ken Dryden, he stands for something. I go right around the board here. I've got a guy called Kennedy who set up a food bank. Right? I go right around the board. I'm not trying to leave anybody out. I've had Maurizio Bevilacqua fighting for better treatment and fairness for immigrants. I could go around the board. I'm going to leave somebody out, but you get the general point. Everybody's got a track record here. Everybody was in the right place when it counted. And one of the people who was always in the right place was Karen Mock. I have a deep personal affection for Karen Mock based on a track record. She does not just talk about equality. She does not just talk about fairness. She doesn't just fight. She doesn't talk about the perils of anti-Semitism. She has stood when it counted. And that's the kind of person we need. Because we have a fight on here. I'll always take the high road. But there is a clear and emergingly clear contrast between what we stand for and what they stand for. And let me just conclude by giving you my vision of the party. We are the big red tent in the center of Canadian life. It's a big, capacious tent. The doors are open. We want people to come in. We want to appeal to conservatives who wonder where the progressive went, who wonder where the accountability went, who wonder where the transparency went. We want those conservatives to come back to the big red tent at the center of our politics. Let's not make the mistake of talking only to ourselves. Let's reach out to neighbors who are disillusioned with this government and bring them in. Let's reach out on the other side to Green and NDP voters who care desperately about the future of this planet, who want daycare for their children, who want to make sure their kids can go to college, who want to make sure that people in retirement are treated with decency and dignity, who want to make sure there is a planet to hand on to our children and grandchildren. We share so much with that side of the political spectrum. Come on in. Come on in to the big red tent. Open the doors, open the windows, open your heart, reach out to your neighbors, reach out to people with whom you have been in political disagreement and persuade. This party believes in the politics of persuasion rather than the politics of manipulation. That is why I'm on a bus. That is why I'm doing 10 provinces and 3 territories. That is why I'm speaking 5 times a day. To persuade, to talk, to listen, to reach out, to pull people in to the big red tent at the center of Canadian political life.